Liam Lawson is now under heavy pressure to keep his seat alive, especially with the rising talent who's currently racing in Formula 2, Arvid Lindblad. The fact that Hajar has gone on to post great results as a Racing Bulls driver goes to show that in this sport you can go from a Red Bull driver to out of the sport in an instant. And with this in mind, can we see Lawson out of Formula 1 soon? And will Lindblad be his replacement? The situation is all but great for Liam Lawson. The man's gone on from a Red Bull driver to a demotion in Racing Bulls in just 2 races. This takes a massive mental toll on the driver, and whether we like it or not, it can affect his performance to a great extent. Hadjar also had a very poor performance as well in the opening round in Australia, but he's managed to pick up the pace and score points on 2 occasions. Lawson, on the other hand, is one of the 3 drivers who is yet to score points in Formula 1. And bear in mind, one of those drivers, Duan, has been replaced from Imola onwards with Colapinto. And this is the situation that could happen to Liam Lawson as well. Red Bull is aware of the opportunities they have from their academy, such as Arvid Lindblad, the driver who became the youngest ever Formula 2 winner in the history of the sport. Be that as it may, pundits have already started to portray a scenario in which Lawson's going to leave Formula 1 to make place for Lindblad. And elaborating further on this, Juan Pablo Montoya has gone on to say, "I'll tell you the truth, if Liam doesn't improve any further, I wouldn't be surprised if they put Lindblad in at some point. Not at all, I wouldn't be a little surprised. Honestly, Liam was given the green light last year and has proven that he has what it takes to do a good job. They gave him the Red Bull seat and he won it. Even if we didn't have Lindblad in the picture, and this is a big if because of the many talents that he has and the encouraging words he received from Helmut Marko and Christian Horner, the nature of Racing Bulls is quite clear to the F1 world. This is a team that explores young drivers and their potential to drive an F1 car, something that Lawson has shown in 2023 by scoring points in Singapore and was dubbed to be the replacement of Ricciardo in the long-term fashion of things. Be that as it may, the table has turned now and it seems like Red Bull is seeing the potential in Lindblad to be pivotal for the future of the team. Montoya believes that Red Bull is going to do a very similar thing to what Alpine did. They have the potential to swap around drivers and to see where they fit in the F1 picture, despite this being quite a controversial topic among F1 peers. Be that as it may, Montoya feels like the demotion took a big toll on Lawson's performance, and when talking about it to a greater extent, he's gone on to say, "The Red Bull situation was complicated, and I think it took a very strong blow to Lawson's liver, and he needs a lot of psychological treatment after that. If he doesn't recover soon, I'm sure Red Bull will start looking elsewhere because that's how they work. It's Red Bull, it's a bit like what's happening with Alpine right now. Whenever Franco Colapinto doesn't do well, the same thing will happen." So, what's the hype around this lad Lindblad about anyways? He became the youngest F2 winner in Jeddah this year, and it became quite obvious that the future for him is in Formula 1. What the team wanted to do was to promote him to F2 as early as possible and see what he's able to do with that type of machinery. But as we saw with Antonelli, it's not quite directly related. For example, if you don't win Formula 2, it doesn't mean that you won't fit well in Formula 1. Antonelli is a prime example of that. Red Bull has already done some TPC testing with Lindblad, and now it's more than obvious that they are going to continue this process throughout 2025, potentially even putting him in an FP1 session. Elaborating on the impact that Lindblad left at his age and how important that is for his F1 future, Helmut Marko's gone on to say, "We're not looking for a new Max, we're looking for a new champion, and I think the next one, which looks really promising, is Arvid Lindblad. I think in the past, if I compare with Duan or Piastri or also with Behrman, they had a lot of tests in the 2-year-old of the Formula 1 car. For example, Lawson didn't have this opportunity, and also Hadjar to a certain extent didn't have this opportunity. And this is something will change for Arvid, that he, if he makes a very good season in Formula 2, can go with good experience into Formula 1 in 2026. Maybe. The warning for Lawson is there, everything's on the table, and despite the good results that he's shown in Miami, which ended up with a penalty for his racing incident with Alonso, we are also now looking at a very serious threat to his career. Lindblad is a man who is going to give all to become an F1 driver, and when 3 doesn't fit into 2, then we have a serious issue that the team needs to resolve. But again, with the strong performance of Isack Hadjar after the embarrassing crash in Australia on the formation lap, it proves that we have a lot to talk about regarding the potential Red Bull call as well. What's also very uncertain is the future of Max Verstappen. And in a case like this, you always want to explore all of your options. For example, the 4-time world champion now has lucrative offers from Mercedes and Aston Martin. And if the downfall continues, then Hajar might be given the call to start the rebuild process along with Tsunoda, marking a new chapter in Red Bull's existence. But that is a bit far-fetched of a scenario, and even if it comes to this, I'm sure that the Austrian team would want to test the talents of Lindblad before they choose to go long-term with any other competitor for that seat. Still, it's bad news for Lawson because of all of the statements that Marko had regarding the performance of Hadjar. After labelling the crying process in Australia as embarrassing, Marko's gone on to redeem himself and stated that the Frenchman is the revelation of the season. Furthermore, Marko said, "Let's talk about the Racing Bulls. Returning driver Liam Lawson is doing well. In Jeddah, he was a touch faster than Isaac Hadjar, and in the race, they were more or less on par. The New Zealander has settled in. In my opinion, Hadjar is the revelation of this first phase of the World Championship. The young Parisian didn't know most of the circuits, but was always fast right from the start and made few mistakes, apart from the mistake in Australia. Isaac achieves in the race what many Formula One rookies struggle with. He consistently posts good lap times while managing his tyres very well. He delivers all of this relatively calmly. And it's up to Hajar as well. The youngster might receive a call from Red Bull sooner rather than later, because we have no idea how the Tsunoda story is going to unfold. But according to the current Racing Bulls driver, he would never shy away from a call of such importance, and he would give his everything to prove to the men in charge that he has what it takes to be the next race winner for the team. When addressing this situation, Hadjar said, "Of course I would reply to the call. It's Red Bull, it's the big team. Of course it's a huge challenge and I'm not ready to plan on it at the moment. I'm just trying to do my best with what I have. But if I get the call, of course I would say I'm ready. Even if I'm not, I would say I'm ready." All in all, the momentum is on Hadjar's side, and we can see why he's being groomed to be the future of Red Bull, but he'll definitely have serious competition when Lindblad arrives. At this point, it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when the current F2 driver joins the greats in Formula One and proves what type of cloth he's made of. This could also mean bad news for Hadjar because whether we like it or not, the Frenchman won't be safe from the pressure that Lindblad will apply from day one. In general, Lawson is not in a safe place right now, and if he doesn't start scoring points from the next race onwards, this pressure will only continue to grow. Even if he does, it's not a guarantee that Red Bull would want to keep him on a long-term basis, given the potential they discovered in Lindblad and the one that Hadjar is showing. With all of this in mind, what do you think about Red Bull's current situation? And more importantly, do you think that Lindblad deserves to be replacing Lawson? Let us know in the comments below, and once you do that, make sure to click on the video that's appearing on your screen right now.